Dave kicking off Wobble Wobble Wednesday with some fierceness. I like it, Dave. And joining us on the show, he never has to worry about Nickelback being played if he comes on every Wednesday, is our own Josh Katzenstein up in Minneapolis. So, Josh, this is more your style, my friend. How are you up there?
Well, I'm indoors right now, so I'm good. But any time spent outdoors is not quite as good.
But you got Minneapolis cold ice water in your veins. You should be able to go out there shirtless. Come on.
You lived in Detroit, for God's sake.
Oh, he grew up in Minneapolis.
I mean, come on.
I mean, look, I'm capable of dealing with it, but that doesn't mean I have to like it.
Yeah.
That's a fair point.
I would totally agree. Josh Katzenstein, of course, covers the Saints for NOLA.com. The Times-Picayune up at Super Bowl 52. And, Josh, you've kind of run the gauntlet of former Saints players and writing stories you've written about Malcolm Jenkins, Brandon Cooks, Donnell Ellerbe, Darren Sproles. Of the stories you've written, which one has kind of intrigued you the most of your coverage up there?
I was kind of interested in what Ellerbe had to say. I mean, a lot of the stuff is just boilerplate out here. Guys just say, they're also focused on the game. They don't want to say anything that could become a distraction. But, Ellerbe, I asked him point blank. I'm like, look, did you ever pay attention to all the fans who just, loathed you for having all these injuries? He's like, nah, it's not like I'm trying to get hurt, So, it's not the most interesting thing, but, I mean, it's true. Like, there were so many Saints fans that just hated Ellerbe because he couldn't stay healthy. But I think some people, when you're fanatics of these teams, they forget that these guys often don't have a lot of control over when they can play and when they can't. So I thought it was good to catch up with him. Malcolm Jenkins, obviously a really interesting guy. He still loves New Orleans. He said he spends at least 2-3 weeks there every year. Wants to come back for Mardi Gras this year. However, growing up in New Jersey, he likes being in Philly now because it's close to home, and so I thought those were two interesting things. But I'm actually going to talk to Patrick Robinson here in a minute, so should have even more former Saints stuff.
Yeah, you mentioned Patrick Robinson. We talk about Malcolm Jenkins having a career renaissance. Patrick Robinson has really had a career renaissance. Pick 6 in the NFC championship game. But just being around the two teams, obviously there's the hubbub, but what's the sense? I mean, Patriots have been there, done that, but what is your sense with the Eagles? From the people you've talked to, is this thing too big for them, or are they just kind of settling in and ready to go?
No, I mean, I think, well, there's two factors at play. I think they're playing up the underdog card, which they've been doing all playoffs pretty much since they were, the underdog against the Falcons and then against the Vikings as well. So, they sort of are using that as motivation, this week again because they're underdogs to the Patriots. But at the same time, I was talking to Jalen Mills, the former LSU cornerback, yesterday, and he said that, people need to know that this team has a lot of swag, and I think that's sort of where you see the, underdog stuff come into play. They're just trying to have a good time, trying to keep the energy up, and, it seems like they're not going to be scared of the big bad Patriots.
Speaking of that, Josh, what is the air around Nick Foles? And obviously he's not some rookie that just came in and started a few games ago. But what is your sense of him? How's the stage for him? Does it seem like he's okay with everything?
Yeah, I mean, he seems really confident. I mean, it'd be hard not to, after the 2 games that he had, in the playoffs, especially, last week against the Vikings, hitting some of those deep balls. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, a lot of people here, are talking about how, the Eagles would be much better positioned if they had Carson Wentz. But, Nick Foles doesn't seem nervous about the big stage at all.
Josh Katzenstein, Saints beat writer of NOLA.com, the Times-Picayune, up in Minneapolis and St. Paul, covering Super Bowl 52, joining us right here on Dunk and Holder. Darren Sproles, injured. It sounds like he wants to possibly come back next year. What is his mindset like? I almost look at him, and when the Saints went to the Super Bowl. Deuce McAllister was basically in the same role as him, kind of sideline cheerleader. How is his mindset, and does he feel like he can come back next year?
Well, I asked him that. He said, he hasn't really thought about it too much yet. I know I saw another story that said he's leaning toward coming back. But, as for this week, he said he's basically just another coach, and that makes a lot of sense. He's obviously got the most experience of any of the running backs on the Eagles team. Probably, I guess I haven't gone down the whole roster, but he's got to be one of the oldest guys on that team. I think he's 34 already. So, there's a lot of experience he can provide to some of these younger guys. And, I mean, the last time we saw him out there, at the start of this season, he was still playing well. So I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back and continues to thrive. It's just a question of, how he recovers. He said he's recovering well. But, at his age, it's not always that easy to get back from, the 2 injuries he had. I mean, he broke his arm, tore his ACL. So we'll see what he can do. And then, the other factor, Eagles traded for Jay Ajayi. They have a couple of young running backs. So, it's not totally up to him, but I imagine if he does want to come back, someone will probably give him a chance.
Are the fans out in force yet? How are those Philly fans?
I haven't seen too many of them. Honestly, all the media stuff's pretty centrally located at the Mall of America. So, it's mostly Vikings fans that I've seen. I imagine the Eagles fans will come take it over, tomorrow or Friday. And once that happens, I think it'll be a little bit more intense out here.
Josh, why is Brandon Cook so surly? He's just so surly. It just irks me, and I feel like he's surly. He won the battle, forced his way out. He's with the Patriots. He's their number 1 wide receiver since Julian Edelman's out. Well, wide receiver, and he just seems like an angry little guy. Why is this?
That's because you call him a little guy. Everybody calls him a little guy. Could you imagine going your whole life being this, superstar talent, and everyone just keeps calling you little or small?
Drew Brees has been fine with it.
Don't you know, Larry? He thinks he's a superstar, Josh.
Yeah, he thinks he's 6'4". He plays like he's 6'4". He doesn't really, but no, I don't know. I mean, he seemed excited to see me at first, but then I started asking him questions. And then his face turned really quick. But, no, I'm going to try to talk to him a little bit more today. I mean, look, this is a good experience for him. But like I said earlier, so many of these guys just don't want to say anything that becomes a distraction. So, hopefully down the road he'll, eventually explain everything that went down with him, expressing his desire to, get a different role or get a different team. But certainly he has little interest in talking about that right now.
Oh, it's only a matter of time before he finds his way into Bill Belichick's doghouse, too.
Right, yeah. I guess it'd have to be, he could probably fit in a normal-sized doghouse based on stuff.
Yes!
Savage season.
I love it. Josh Katzenstein, Saints beat writer, NOLA.com, Times-Picayune. Follow all of his coverage. He's been up there since Monday, chronicling everything going on in Super Bowl 52. He'll be there covering the game for us there. Hey, Josh, appreciate the time. I know you got to run. We'll catch up with you on Friday to kind of maybe get a little bit more game chatter. And I'd like to talk with you, see what Patrick Robinson has to say. So we'll catch up with you on Friday.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Get your hot cup of coffee, buddy.
All right, that's Josh Katzenstein, NOLA.com, Times-Picayune. I loved it. I'm obviously not a Brandon Cooks fan.
Is there one? His mama, maybe.
I think so. But the fact that I watched, what is it, Tom versus Time on Facebook. He's got his little documentary as we go to break right here. And they went to Montana for a couple days to go work out and do some things. And you saw Danny Amendola up there. You saw Julian Edelman up there.
Yeah.
No Cookie. Cookie was not there. He was too good for that, apparently.
Probably wasn't getting.
He doesn't want to work out with Tom Brady. He's too good for that.
Tom Brady? Who's Tom Brady?
Exactly. Cookie. Surly Cookie.
Get over it, Larry.
He's
gotta
just,
let it go,
bud.
You gotta let it go, bud.
He's just an angry little man. That's
Well, it's got to be little, just angry.
He's little. Too bad. It's facts. So let's take a break right here on the show. We get back. Switch gears. Pelicans. Let's talk Will Guillory. Pelicans beat writer for NOLA.com. So I know Boogie at least
know,
is still
sad.
a presence on our show. I know that is sad.
It really is. I mean, it's sad.
I know. All right, we'll talk with Will about poor Boogie and his Achilles and what's next with the Pelicans. So come on back, Sports 1280, NOLA.com, the iHeartRadio app. Duncan Holder.